LE Diecast, and this is our week wrap-up video here at the giant LE Diecast headquarters. And it was a very dull week right up until about yesterday, and then everything kind of blew up around here. So I have a lot of stuff to show. I was a little worried I wasn't going to have too much to show for this week, but I actually have quite a bit of stuff to show. So we'll get started. I got my my mail-in, the 2014 collector edition, and this is the 69 Chevelle SS 396. This was the Kmart Day mail-in car. So if you had your 20 backing cards, you could wrap those up and send away, I think it was like $3.95 something. And they send you this car. And it's a really nice car. I've got this out of the Protecto pack so you can see it a little bit better. But these cars are always really nice. And I've been getting them for a while. Rubber tires. Nice rims on it. Special paint job. Lots of tampos. And it's a really nice car. So if you haven't taken advantage of the Kmart mail-in offers, it's really easy. You just can go to K-Day, or you can go between the dates that are posted, and you buy 20 cars, and you get a receipt with 20 cars listed on that receipt. It has to be Hot Wheel cars. This time around, it didn't seem to matter what the year was. They didn't specify that the cards had to be a certain case code or year. I sent in cards from the last 3 cases, which is usually fine anyways, but I noticed that I think you could even send in older cards, and they would have taken them this time. And there's some forms online. You print out the address, you send it in, you wait around for a while, and they come to you. So I got 2 of these, one for myself, one for Andrew. He doesn't know about it yet. So I'm going to keep on doing that. Yeah, if you have not done the mail away offers, you're missing out. It's one of the best things that Mattel does. Also, the G-Case cars came in, and we've got some of them. Now, my G-Case experience has not been perfect. My Walmart got a G-Case in last week. I saw it, and then they seemed to have some sort of accounting issue, or cars were disappearing or something, and I'm not sure that's a real big surprise for Walmart, but they wouldn't let anybody buy any from the G-Cases. I usually go early in the morning on my way to work, and that was okay. I wasn't going to bother the folks at Walmart there. They seemed to be fretting over where the missing cars had gone. But evidently after I had left, somebody else came in and gave them a hard time because they wouldn't sell them the cars. Called the manager, and then that person went through the bin, grabbed all the supers, the treasure hunts, the Fiats, the combis, anything that was special in the G-Case, and kind of caused an uproar at my Walmart. So I wanted to get as far away from that as I could. And I usually talk to the toy manager when I'm in there in the morning, and she said it was kind of a big mess. So she had told me, because I guess I had behaved myself and not bothered them, that she knew that the cases were coming out this morning on Saturday, and she told me a time she knew they'd be there. And so I got there. We always go early when we go to our flea market finds, me and Andrew. And so the case was there, and we went through it. No treasure hunts, no supers, no Fiats, and no combis, and no Zamax. So we got a bunch of cars that we like, but I don't think they're hard to find. This is the Alfa Romeo. This is the Time Tracker in blue this time. I do like the blue. It's kind of hit and miss. Some folks like it, some folks don't. I think I like the blue. This is the What's Up. What's Up? And it's got kind of a weird little clamper thingy on the front. Haven't opened it. I don't think that moves, but it's a new car. I got another Toyota Supra. We've seen this one. And that was a H-Case car, I believe. Got another Dodge Demon. This was a K-Day first to market car, so I already had a few of those, but I got one more. Got a custom 2012 Ford Mustang. I'll leave that guy to last. Got the Ryura. Not sure how you pronounce that. Ryura. Like the way it looks. Not sure if it's a real car or not, to tell you the truth. It's got a kind of a funky front end. It looks kind of like a Mustang front end from the side, but then over on this side it looks more like a, I'm not sure, like a Corvette or something. But like the color on it. Altered Ego, this time in red. We've seen this car before in past years. It's one of the cars that tends to stay on the pegs the most, I've noticed. So we'll see how long the red one sticks around. Lotus Evora. Really like this one in white. Neat coloring on it. I picked up a Super Blitzen. If you're wondering what Andrew picked up, he always picks up his cars too. He went for the usual. He got a Dragon Blaster. He got the no, it's not going to come to me. But he picked out, he loves his fantasy cars. 71 Mustang Funny Car. This one came out in last case. This time in green. Last one was in blue that we saw. I like the green. It's got a name on it, Jason Richmond. I'm not familiar with that name, so I'm not sure who that is. Speed Shop in blue this time. Cloud Cutter in purple and chrome. The chrome is very cool. One of my favorite track cars. And I picked myself up some more of the Chevy Bel Air gassers. These are kind of a mainstay for on the customizing side for me. And we've got a pile of them around. If anybody is looking for any of the colors of the gassers and you're willing to trade, let me know. I have plenty and I could trade for them. I just get them for customs, not for collecting, but when I see them, I usually pick up a few. And then there was this guy, which if you follow me on Facebook, the LA Diecast Facebook page, where we've kind of got a group of folks. You know, I had mentioned that I had seen this one about 2 weeks ago at a hobby store. They were asking too much money for it. I didn't want it that badly. And I knew I'd find it when it came out. I don't think it's going to be a heavily collected car, but it is the Tomb Up. And it's an interesting car. It does not have the new sign on it. So if it's supposed to be there, and I do not think this one has come out before. By the way, the writing in the back is not a treasure hunt. That is for the it's for that contest, which I've not looked into. But you can see back there that they all have the same code. I'm not sure why you put a code on something when everything has the same code. I'm guessing there was a mix-up somewhere. But this Tomb Up car is kind of an interesting car. I've got one open here. I got two of them. And I wanted to see how it did when we got our track out. I thought it was a ghost. I think it's supposed to be like a mummy. He's got like wrapping on him. You can see it's different on each side. And it's got this kind of, I don't know what you'd call that. His little, engine intake there. But it's kind of like it's wrapping that's flapping in the wind. And he is very low to the ground. If you look there. It's a very low car. It's a really neat car. Neat wheels. Neat casting. This is plastic up here, by the way. Plastic engine. This is metal. It's kind of unusual. And he's got a metal bottom on him. So, but yeah, an interesting car. And I think they're going to be pretty easy to find. But We got a couple of those. So those were the new cars that we got, the G case cars. I know that's not all of them. I'm missing the Fiat, which I really want to get. I'm missing the Combi, which I'm sure we'll find eventually. The Treasure Hunt and the Super Treasure Hunt we did not find. I think there's maybe a few others in there that we need. And the Zamax in my part of the world have just been impossible to find. I have no clue why anybody would buy up a case of Zamax when you can't do a darn thing with them. I just went to a show and there were tons of Zamax and I could buy them for $1. And I don't know why anybody would buy up Zamax. So they're not that hard to find. So also I found these, and these are older cars. Zoom out here. These are older. These are not new, but I was excited to find them. This is the Hanna-Barbera series for the oh, what are these? Are these the pop culture Hanna-Barbera? So this is the Convoy Custom Magilla Gorilla. You guys are all like, who's Magilla Gorilla? I remember Magilla Gorilla. He had his time in the sun, an up-and-coming gorilla of great talent whose star dimmed too quickly. Here is Captain Caveman, another one of the great Hanna-Barbera actors. Captain Caveman, one of my favorites when I was a kid. In my opinion, the best of the cavemen actors of his time. And we got Scooby-Doo, which I could not have gotten this if Andrew did not get one himself, so he did, and I got one for me. I don't think these are going to get torn apart for customs. I got an extra Captain Caveman, the 64 GMC panel. One of those will go for customs. I'll probably keep the rest. Really like Scooby-Doo. This is actually one of my favorite castings. We don't see a lot of it. It's the quick delivery. I just like it because it's got a lot of real estate for my customs on it. And kind of a cool thing. You can see in there, it's got a lot of stuff inside there. That is not a real mystery machine as far as I know. So, and found those at Walmart. And they even still have some. But I usually don't buy those at regular price because they're kind of costly. Then, also at Walmart, we found the Mustang 50-year cars. And these are Walmart exclusives, I think, although it was a little bit of a issue when the Corvette series started showing up all over the place at 99-cent stores. If I remember right, the Corvette cars cost more than $1. I thought they were maybe $2. And because when they showed up at the 99-cent store, they were cheaper. Maybe I'm wrong. But these Mustang cars are only $1. Maybe $1.09, I think. This is the 2007 Ford Mustang, the blue. I've got the 2003 Ford Mustang Cobra. I'm going to get this guy lined up. He's going to fall over, but there's the Cobra. These cars tend to have real nice tampos on them. Not rubber tires. They're really nothing special as far as the castings go. This is my favorite one that I got. This is the 2012 Ford Mustang. If anybody knows which one were kind of the harder ones of these to get, let me know. They did not have all of them. I was missing oh, which one? Here, I'll tell you in a second. I think it was the 2013 Ford Mustang. Here's the 1971 Mach 1 in red. I'd like to see the art. The art's all in white. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't match the color of the car. It's got the Ford logo on it, of course. 67 Ford Mustang in yellow. Let's get a better angle there. I'd like to see the art on that one. Art makes it kind of hard to tell the cards apart, but it won't matter. These were sold out real quickly. They disappeared real fast, and which I wasn't gonna get them, yeah, because I thought they were gonna cost a little bit more. This one is the 2013 Ford Mustang. I guess I don't need to say Ford Mustang. They're all Mustangs. And this is the 62 Mustang Concept. So the one that I was missing, was it the 92? Yeah, it's the 92 Mustang. The one they didn't have was that one right there. And as far as I know, none of these are harder to find than anything else. I think that was just coincidence that they were out of that one. So I got those. Probably going to give most of those away. That's not something I collect. And that will go out to the folks. Some of those will go out to the folks that I buy cars for. Next up is the car show cars. And I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop the video so that I can get a transition in here, and I will be right back with the car show cars. Okay, we're back, and this is usually Andrew's segment. We've actually had less of Andrew's segment than usual, partially because his schedule has just changed and he's not around when I'm shooting videos quite as much. But also he hasn't gotten a lot of new cars lately. So, but he will be back. I got a few emails asking where Andrew was. He will be back. So we did go to a car show, the Rack and Q show, and I mentioned that the last video. I got a ton of Matchbox cars, Superfast cars, Lesney cars, Universal Year cars, a few that are newer than that. And they were just in fantastic shape. And I paid somewhere between 60 and 80 cents for each of these. And if I can pay that much for Matchbox cars, especially the older ones, I'm all over it. Not crazy about the new ones. The last 10 years haven't really done it for me for Matchbox. But everything before that is what I had as a kid. And that's what I really like, especially the super fast cars. If you ever want to make me happy, give me a box of super fast cars. So, but before we start, I wanted to show you this little car. This is I'm going to scoot these guys back just a little bit. This is a little Yat Ming car. And I'm sure some of you are like, Yat Ming? What's a Yat Ming? Yat Ming's Chinese company. And they've been around for a long, long time. We just don't see them here in the U.S. very much. And this is kind of a vintage Yat Ming. He's got the Yat Ming wheels. That's kind of what gives the Yat Ming cars away, are those wheels. They see them on a lot of them. They do have kind of a very Matchbox-like suspension. So the axles are going through you can kind of see, you can see all the way through there. The axles are attached to the base with a metal plate that kind of sits over the axles, and that's what allows them to bounce. So if you've ever wondered why cars bounce like that, when we talk about suspension, where the car can kind of have like shocks, it's because of that little metal plate. Has opening doors. The neat thing about this car is I got him in a lot of other cars. It was just kind of a mystery lot. I've mentioned I buy a lot of those. It was in the very bottom of the case. It was probably the last car I took out, and it's in really good condition. For a Yat Ming that's that old, rolls great. Really one of my favorite cars of the last couple weeks that I've found. If you ever find a Yat Ming, and you'll know, I should show the bottom. I mean, they're pretty easy to tell that's Yat Ming. They have that great big Yat Ming on the base. This one's made in Thailand. I'm pretty sure they're made in China now. It's the number, barely see it, but that number right there, which on this one is 1088, that's the identifying mark. So that's what this car is. They're very much like the Matchbox cars in that the bases don't tend to change much over the years. So this car, no matter what color he is or when he came out, is going to be 1088. And so the Yat Mings aren't too hard to figure out what you got. Type that into eBay, do some research, and you got yourself a car. This guy is called the 88 Team Racer, I think. And that is probably the English translation of that, I'm guessing. So maybe that's not his official name. But neat little cars. These Yat Ming cars. I don't have a lot of them. So real happy with that one. Also, We've got two Superfasts in this group. We've got this guy, which I am just thrilled with. So 60 cents got me this little guy. And there is not really a mark on him. And he's a Superfast Matchbox. And if you look on the bottom there, if you ask, well, how do you know it's a Superfast? For the most part, you just read the bottom. See that logo? It's on the right over here, right there. And he is a Jeep. He's number, what is it, 39? I can't read that, 3938. And the Matchbox cars have those identifying numbers sometimes, especially the older they get. This guy is a Lesney car. So this was when Lesney made the Matchbox brand car, a company called Lesney. It was made in England. Lesney eventually made the cars over in Hong Kong and China, and I don't remember if they made them in, oh, it was Macau. Hong Kong, Macau, and China. And so you can tell the era of the car by where they were made. This one is made in England. It is the oldest of the Superfast type cars, and the only cars that came before the Superfast were the Lesney cars, and they look quite a bit different. But this guy is just in great shape. Very happy with him. Also this guy, and he is another Superfast. He is a little bit newer than the last one you saw. And he is still made in England. That date on there may not necessarily be when it was made, but I bet if he's made in England, it's got to be pretty close to 1977. I think they stopped making them in England around 79. And this guy, sorry about that, my sound cut out there. The door's open in the back. You're not going to see that anymore. Little parts, little kids, bad things happen. Back in the day, we didn't care about that kind of stuff. So, really happy with those two cars and that Yat Ming car. But let's take a look at these others. Now, these are mostly, I believe, Universal Year cars. It's a mix, so... And I did not research the years on all these. Again, that year on the base is not always when it was made. This says 1999. That's probably about the time this guy showed up. Universal was the company that bought Matchbox from Lesney, or Lesney went bankrupt and hostile takeover or something, I don't know, but Universal Toys, and I don't know if that's the same as Universal Pictures or not, but so when I say there's Lesney came first, Superfast came next, and then the owners of the company were Lesney and then Universal, so now they're owned by Mattel. So these cars, not quite as old. Here's a little cool little zoom out. It's a cool little forklift. The Superfast version of this came in yellow, I know. This is not a Superfast. This was made in Thailand. So he's a little bit older. Still one of my favorites. Still really built well. I mean, these are nice cars. The Universal cars for Matchbox, which don't get much attention, and for the most part you can just get them pennies on the dollar, are really some of the nicest cars. They're some of my favorites. They're just not very collectible. Here's another forklift, this time in white, and I'm pretty sure this was probably about the same time period as that green one you just saw. Both made in Thailand. One of my favorite Matchbox castings, the old racing truck. This is the Bandag Bandit Detroit diesel. Real good shape. This guy's much newer. He could be even into, it says here 82, but that's not when he was made. Made in Macau. And I don't remember if the Macau stuff came before the Thailand stuff. To tell you the truth, I think Macau came first. Another truck. This time it's Super Boss. So we've got Super Boss and the Bandag Bandit. Otherwise, they've got the same tampos on them. This is Tyrone Wallace. Wallane? What does that say? Wallane? Tyrone Wallane is the name on the back. probably the same dates. But to find all of these at a show in this good a shape is rare for me. Rock TV. This guy where is he? He's made in Thailand. Matchbox. Nice car. It's hard to find this one with these little doodads on it. The little camera back here turns. We got a police car. This guy is he's a Mercury, and it's not a 76, I bet you. But he's an older one. Those wheels on him. And another ambulance. This time not as old as the first one you saw, but the door is still open in the back. It's in great shape. And this guy, there's his bottom, made in China. Like I said, not as old as the first one, the Superfast. And last is this crazy police car. This thing's got all sorts of stuff going on it. First of all, they're not going to sneak up on anybody. This is probably from close to 2000, I'm guessing, because of those tires on it. He's a Ford LTD, made in Thailand. And this particular car, I thought was funny because he's got the old, I think that's an old air conditioning unit on it, but it doesn't look like it's an old enough car for that. So if somebody knows what that is, I don't know if that's something to keep the bad guys in the back or if that's an old air conditioning unit on the windshield. So do the bad guys that hang out in the back, do they get air conditioning and the cop in the front has to keep his windows open? I don't know. So really like that one. But so that was this week, and it ended up being a very good week. So hope the week was good for you guys, and I'm going to head over to the customs table here, show you what we did custom-wise. We do have a big announcement showing up on the customizing front, so for those of you that are into it, stay tuned. I'll get to it in just a minute.